Want to welcome you to part 2 of Scholarships Finding the Hidden Dollar. This has been the most successful series yet. We've done this about 6 times now, 6 years, and this time we had over 85 people come to Scholarship Part 1. And now we have people accessing the recording. So if you didn't come to Part 1 where we learned about essay writing and breaking the myths, don't worry, we're going to do a bit of review, and I'll send you the information from that session in the after-session email tonight. So give me a green check. Are you familiar with the tools in the WebEx platform? So on the right-hand side, you're going to see a hand and a green check and a red X. Give me a green check if you're kind of familiar, red X if you're not at all. Yeah, I see Brianna's familiar, Kate's familiar, Wendy, Tara, Holly. I feel like I'm on Romper Room, Holly.
Yeah, I was just waiting for that. Waiting for that reference.
So, sorry, we're dating ourselves again. Okay, so Denise and Leanne, excellent. So this is your participant panel. This is where you mute and unmute by clicking on your name, and you'll find this all on the right-hand side of your screen. That's where you're going to see all the names, and that's how you mute and unmute. We're asking you to mute your microphone except when you want to speak. That way, there won't be any background noise while we're sharing. Also, it looks like everybody's joining on a laptop, PC, or Mac, which is so much fun because then we can use all the tools where you can raise your hand, give that a try. It's the little hand icon on the right. There we go, everybody. I see Tara, Wendy. Raise your hand just so I make sure you've got it. Excellent. Leanne, did you find the hand? There we go. Super. Okay. And at the very end of that line, there's a happy face. If you click on that, there's different emojis so you can tell us. Hopefully you're not tired, but you can tell us by how you're feeling. We ask you to put up the coffee cup when you step away so that we know you're not having IT or technical issues, that you've just stepped away for a moment. And we hope you stepped away because somebody rang on your doorbell and you won $1 million. That would be awesome. So just use your coffee cup up there. And then a lot of times we're going to be using chat, and Holly and I will be monitoring the chat throughout the session. So please add. Oops. Hi, Leah. Can I ask you to mute your microphone?
Wherever you're more comfortable.
Or Brianna, can I ask you to mute your microphone?
Oh, me?
Yeah, thanks. That's good. I can hear some background there. So yeah, use your chat throughout. I see that everybody knows how to find it now. Please ask your questions in there. Raise your hand. It's going to be interactive, and we're going to have lots of really great information on scholarships that are available. So for the housekeeping. For the housekeeping, we have, we've just given you a short tour of the tools. Then we're going to introduce our presenters. And then this part 2 is all about scholarship opportunities for Canadian Armed Forces community. So we're going to talk about Support Our Troops that have 71 with 1 application. How's that for a win? Business Solutions, the Royal Canadian Legion, TD Canada Trust, Wounded Warriors Canada as well, and Scholarships Canada, where you can put a profile, in your profile, your affiliation with CAF, and then you'll have 30 more choices. Then we're going to talk about where else to find scholarships, and then we're going to stop the recording, and I'm just going to ask for your input on how we can help and how we can, what programs you'd like to see that would make your life a little bit better. And before we go into the introductions, I want to share with you that you're going to see on each slide, pretty much, almost each slide, not quite all, but almost all, little points about scholarship. Your email matters, for example. Make it professional, not bunnyrabbit17@gmail.com. But you're going to see little points, tidbits, and you're also going to see facts that break myths from why we may not be wanting to apply for scholarships or don't think we can, and that was myths were broken in session 1. So it is my great pleasure to introduce Holly. Holly is a phenomenal employment coordinator for for Halifax and Region Military Family Resource Center. And I'll let you introduce yourself, Holly.
Thanks, Margaret. Wow, that's a great little introduction. Yes, I'm Employment and Education Services, and I've been with the MFRC for about 17 years now, and have had the pleasure of helping hundreds of military spouses transition successfully to their careers and from community to community. So it's a passion for me. It's you know, it's actually a vocation, and every person that comes through my door is a different situation and a different set of circumstances. So it's never the same day twice. And it's challenging work, but I'm from a military family, and for me it's just, yeah, a real work of the heart, and I'm glad to be with you today, Margaret, talking about scholarships, which is, you know, so important. Although we are going through what we're going through currently within our world, we still have to keep our focus on what does bring us hope and, yeah, how we move forward in this time of uncertainty. And I think this is a great place to start.
Education is a place to move forward, always.
Sure is, yeah.
Thank you so much, Holly. And my name is Margaret McKenzie. I'm an interactive online training and program development. I am a Canadian Armed Forces spouse with, oh, I hate to say it, almost 30 years of experience. 12 postings and over 200 weeks of family separation, so I get it. I'm excited and passionate about reaching our families using this tool because there's so many families that cannot come into our centers. We will never, ever replace, well, maybe this for the next month we'll replace
I don't know.
the person. But the key is just to enhance our outreach, and this is a great tool. So we're excited to have this presentation. As I said, Scholarships Part 1, where we learned how to write an essay, had over 85 guests and participants coming to it. So now we're going to do a little bit of review. And again, check out these little quirks about scholarships. Here's 720 hours in a month. And if you use 3 hours to apply for applications in a month, you still have 717.
How's that for perspective? All of those moms that are here for their sons, that's the buy-in. That's the little ticket that you use.
3 out of 720. You can do 3 hours. So it's very interesting because of the COVID virus. Support Our Troops is going to be our keynote speakers tonight. And instead what we're going to do is we're going to record their presentation because of everything that's up in the air. They're not 100% sure on the dates of when they're going to be having their scholarships, when they're going to be able to open. So I wanted to just share with you 3 slides, and then we will send you a recording when it's ready. Support Our Troops. Give me a green check if you ever heard of Support Our Troops. Red X if you have not. Okay, Leanne has. Kate has not. Okay. Excellent. Most people have. So Support Our Troops is a phenomenal organization, and they offer camps for kids as well as scholarships. Here's the cool thing. They have 71 scholarships that are available this year. So they've been doing this for about 6 years, and they started with 40, and organizations come to them and say, we want to be part of this, and it keeps growing every year. Well, this year they have 71 scholarships. They range from $500 to $2,500, and it only takes you 1 application, just 1. And in that 1 application, they want you to have a proof of enrollment. They want your most recent transcripts. They want point form because they get about 400 applicants a year. So they want point form, list of volunteer and community leadership experience. Bang, 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 just like that. And 1 letter of reference. If you give 2 letter of references, you're going to be disqualified. So you have to go very carefully what they're asking. Do not give more, do not give less. And we spoke about scholarship essays in Scholarship Part 1. And this one is unique because this one is less than 500 words. It's only 450 words for 3 questions. So you have to tell your story in succinct language all the time.
That is tight.
That is tight.
That
Get
is tight.
edited. Now, let me show you what the questions are. Okay, so part 1, 3 parts to this, 450 words. The first is describe how your connection to military life has helped shape and prepare you for the future. That is PR ready, you're right, Denise.
Yes, indeed, yeah.
Part 2, discuss your academic and career goals and explain how you plan to achieve them. And part 3 is describe any challenges you've encountered or may experience while pursuing your educational goals. So challenges can be bankruptcy, they can be cancer, they can be PTSD, they can be special needs, financial hardship. You decide what the challenges are. Deployments, postings. Really focus on a short story essay that answers these 3 questions. So I would do like 150, 150, 150. And then wrap it all, maybe 100, 100, 100, and wrap it all with the next 100.
Yeah.
So have it edited, and you know, Holly is phenomenal with her team in Halifax on helping them with resumes. Holly, I bet you'd be awesome also at editing essays for scholarships, right?
Sure, I'll take part 1 for 100, please.
I don't mean to put you on the spot. But, you know, getting an essay edited is really important. And if it's not by Holly, ask your teachers, ask people that you know, ask another colleague, somebody who's a colleague in your grade or in your school or in your work. Ask them to edit it.
Yeah, it really is about using, if I can interrupt for just a second, Margaret.
Please.
It really is about using those high impact statements, and you know, you're right, that approach is used all the time in resume development, but you kind of get a knowledge, good solid working knowledge of it when you've used it a lot. And you know, how much you can say and how few words is a real, that is a real act. So if you'd like to connect with me and have me reread your essay, I certainly would put that out there for for a reason for you to connect, for sure. That's I would be more than happy to help you with that.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so any questions on the Support Our Troops Scholarship? Any thoughts, or you can check if you're ready to go. And again, we're going to send you the after-session recording as well from Scholarship 1 if you missed it. So you'll learn more about how to write an essay, how to write the story, and use your high-impact statement. Okay, so this one is a unique one. You're not going to find this particular scholarship on scholarshipscanada.com. There's 99,000 scholarships on that website, but you're not going to find this one. So this is a Canadian military spouse who has a marketing business. It's called Kathy Priestman Business Solutions. And her mom was the person that she really looked up to, and she decided to do a scholarship called the Spirit of Giving. And it's really unique because it's for community leaders. It's going into first part university. So after college, after high school, if you're going to college or university, you're welcome. If you're a woman, you can apply for this particular scholarship. So it's open to all Canadian women graduating from high school in 2020. And the scholarship is not based on how fast you run or how high you jump or the academic achievement. They're looking to reward champions who have a positive impact on those around them and who benefit others. Can you think of anybody like that? And the winners of the scholarship between $5,000 and $2,000, they have to agree to 3 things. Thank someone from their past, they have to pay it forward, and take a moment to celebrate themselves. And this particular scholarship has a very short window of application. It's April 15th to May 15th. So that's coming up soon. I'm just going to share with you a video so you can meet Kathy and learn a little bit more about her. And then at the end of the session, we will share her website with all the other websites. So if you could just mute your microphone, Holly. And
sure thing.
All right. So did that tweak your interest? We're going to share the website with you in a little bit when we share the other websites as well, but it's CP Business Solution, and we'll also put that in the after session email. And the reason we included this is because Kathy Priestman is a Canadian military spouse as well. All righty then, let's go on to another scholarship that's available for Canadian military families, the Royal Canadian Legion. So give me a green check if you have ever connected with your Royal Canadian Legion, a red X if you have not. Have you ever connected with the Royal Canadian Legion?
Mm-hmm.
No. Wendy has. Tara, no. Hey, Carrie. Karen, have you put in the chat, Karen, because you can't use the tools. Have you ever used or connected with the Royal Canadian Legion? Okay. So, green check. Thank you, Karen. Good job. All right. So the Royal Canadian Legion, some of you know, some of you don't, is worth investigating. In many communities, even in Germany, there's a Royal Canadian Legion. Even in Colorado Springs, I don't know about Vegas, but I know in Sea Springs, there's a chapter. And the local chapters have funding for scholarships. So wherever you're living, whether it's Kingston or Halifax or any area of Canada has a Legion, and 95% of those Legions will offer scholarships for youth. So check it out, just ask. And there are thousands of other scholarships that are awarded by non-academic administrators, corporations, churches, organizations, associations. So the key here is to ask. Ask at your work, ask at your parents' work. Investigate the Royal Canadian Legion because they really believe in Canadians, they really believe in education, and they're putting the two together for us. So check it out, and we're going to look at the website again for that one as well. Okay. So the next one that we wanted to share with you tonight is Wounded Warriors Canada. Put yes in the chat if you've heard of Wounded Warriors Canada. No if you have not. Use the chat. Have you heard of Wounded Warriors Canada? Kate has.
Yes.
Denise, yes. Carrie, Tara, no. Okay, Tara, that's no problem. We're going to share with you their website, Wounded Warriors Canada. They are an amazing organization. I did a Wounded Warriors bike ride with them through the Croatian battlefields 2 years ago, and we raised, I think, over $300,000 for their services. And they have a wide range of services for ill and injured. Their motto is to help to honor the fallen and help the injured. So their particular, they have two actually. One is for somebody going for their doctorate in social work and in PTSD. The other one is for a first-year student going into university, so graduating from high school, and there must be an applicant, a child of a Canadian Armed Forces veteran, serving or retired, or a first responder. And the key is that they're affected by operational stress injury or PTSD. We have had one of our guests who's come to this workshop actually won their award of $5,500, and it's basically telling their story. So winning essays share how you overcome one of life's challenges, personal to you. In this case, they're looking for PTSD in the family, perhaps a deployment story and how it changed you. Challenges can be bankruptcy, learning challenges, cancer, illness, moves, deployment, a death of a family member. That is your story, and everybody has a story. And whatever your challenge is, you want to bring that up because that's what makes you unique. So you want to bring that up. This is a phenomenal organization that does a lot for so many people. It's saved thousands of lives, and we'll share the website shortly for you on that. All right, Tara, no problem that you haven't heard of Wounded Warriors. After you've looked at the website, you'll want to look more because they do really great programs. Okay, and this last one that I had to share with you today is called the TD Bank Leadership Scholarship. And the deadline is October of every year. And it's for a 4-year, $70,000, go for it. And they have 20 scholarships to give away every year. And it's not military related, but I would love to see any one of our people that have joined these sessions win this one. It's an incredible honor. Certainly you have to have your ducks in a row. You have to have community service and decent grades, and you have to be able to write. But if this is you, I would say go for it, because many people will apply, only the top cream of 20 will get in. And you have to remember that many scholarship essays or scholarship applications are denied even before as soon as they get it, they may say, oh, this has 505 words, it's too many words, or oh, this has 2 reference letters, we only wanted 1. So you have to be so careful to listen to the questions. And when you're doing, especially a scholarship like the TD Bank Leadership Scholarship, you really have to follow the guidelines directly. So that's another one that I hope to share with you. And I'm just going to add one more thing here. I'm going to be sharing my website with you, and I just want to make sure that I have everything ready to go. Okay, excellent. Thank you for your patience. And the very last one that I want to share with you is Scholarships Canada. We spoke about this. Hi, Sue. Welcome.
Hi.
We spoke about Scholarships Canada quite a bit in Scholarships 1. They have, look at this, 99,700 scholarships. That's how many scholarships they have, worth over just under 200 million.
Wow.
In the Scholarships Canada, you set up a profile, and we talked about this in session 1. So you set up a profile, and then they actually send you scholarships that are good for your profile. Now, one thing that we talked about briefly is that there are 30 or more scholarships for the CAF community if you put up an affiliation in your application. So we're going to show you where the affiliation is. And we showed you in part 1 as well. We're going to show you again. And the affiliation can not only be for CAF community, it can be for different organizations that you're part of, different churches, different illnesses that you've had, any of that. The affiliations, what makes you unique? And then all those scholarships will go towards you so that you can apply for them. Remember, more than 10 million scholarship dollars never ever get claimed. And why? Because nobody's applied. So stake your claim, apply. Can you imagine? So many don't get given out. Okay, so before we go into scholarship opportunities, I'm going to share my website with you so that you can see all these great websites that we spoke about. So I'm going to share my web browser, and you may go blue for a moment, and then you're going to see what I see. Great. Now, if I can get you please to bring your mouse right up to the top of the screen and click on the participant panel and the chat panel so that you can continue to chat. And give me a green check when you found your participant panel so I know that you can unmute if you need to. Just give me a green check when you've seen that. So Tara's got it. Bring your mouse right up to the middle, and a tab is going to come down. And if you, Leanne's found it, good job. Here where you're going to be able to unmute, so I need you to find that. Hey, Carrie's got it good. Sue and Karen, if you just want to bring your mouse right up to the top of the screen so that you can see the tab that comes down, and then you can use the chat as well. So just put yes in the chat if you can chat. Great.
Great.
Excellent. Okay. So support our troops. This is the first one that we spoke of, the National Scholarship. Excuse me, my voice is going. My husband will be happy. The National Scholarship Program for 2020, they're not opened yet, but they will be open coming soon. As we said, we don't have the dates on that yet. So here's where you're going to find the scholarships, and there's actually 71, between 500 and 2,500, and the eligibility, so what you need to be, and all the information. And the application is actually online, and they want a 3-part essay, reference letter, and make sure you give them exactly what they're looking for. So the parts will be changed. This year it's 450 words for all 3, so that's from last year. And you'll even see a rubric of what makes a good essay and what doesn't make a good essay. So I encourage you to keep your eye on this Support Our Troops site, which we're going to give you in the after-session email and for upcoming information. Excellent. The CP Business Solutions, we spoke about that. So this is a Canadian military spouse. And she's really creative. And so upon acceptance of this scholarship, winners must agree that they must thank someone from their past, they must pay it forward, and finally they must take a moment and celebrate themselves.
Lovely.
We don't celebrate ourselves nearly enough. And again, you don't have to, it's not based on how fast you run or how high you jump or academic achievements. It's about a well-rounded person. So an incredible scholarship opportunity. April 15th is when they're opening. It's a short window to May 15th, just 1 month. Okay, and again, I'm going to be giving you these links in the after-session email so you can explore. The Royal Canadian Legion, if you look under, sorry, do you see it there? Order. Support for families and the youth education. Yeah. So then there's the support for families and the youth education right here. And they talk about scholarships and bursaries at branch level. Branch level, that's really important. So that's why you have to go to your local Legion, whether it's OutCan or in your local town, and get to know them. Anything you wanted to add about that, Holly?
Yeah, actually, Margaret, I was just thinking too, for those that are here on behalf of their grade 12 students, another approach to take too is to ensure that they're connecting with their guidance counselors, because those local initiatives aren't necessarily going to be on the Scholarships Canada sites. So there's always local, you know, people that have given trust in memoriam, and yeah, they'll have their pulse on those things that are locally, there's no other, real way of getting a hold of that information sometimes, and sometimes the guidance counselor will have a lot of that work done anyway, so that will kind of shorten the whole.
I am so glad you said that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, guidance counselors. Okay, so Wounded Warriors, when you get to Wounded Warriors Canada, you will see, and I'm going to send you this link, they do COPE programs, they have service dog, couples-based equine therapy, they do operational research, and they have the post-secondary. So you scroll down to the bottom, and they have post-secondary bursary, and that's where you're going to find all the information on that particular scholarship, dates and backgrounds, and when it's due. So we encourage you to look at that scholarship as well. And Scholarships Canada, when you log in and you get matched, Sunshine 80 is my login name. Excuse me. I live on a farm, so it's sometimes a little bit difficult. So here is a profile, and we went through this in scholarship session 1, so I'm not going to go in a lot of detail. But when we look at our profile, if we go under scholarship profile, again, it's here where you're going to find heritage. Well, they want your grades, but it's your heritage, as well as any extracurricular activities that you're interested. And the affiliation is right here. And that's a really important one, because that's where you're going to get information on Canadian Armed Forces scholarships, Canadian Air Force. So you put all of those different ones, if you're Canadian Auto Workers, Canadian Blood Services, Cancer Society, whatever your affiliation is, look through that, because that's going to give you more personal scholarships when you're designing your profile. And again, we spoke about designing your profile in session 1, so I'm not going to go into any more detail. I just wanted to remind you that that's really key, the affiliation. And the other part of the profile that's really important is managing your subscriptions, to make sure that your scholarship deadlines alerts is checked yes. That means that if you have a scholarship coming due, you're going to get a little note. Excellent. So those were the websites that we wanted to share with you today. I'm going to stop sharing now and come back. What other scholarship opportunities can you think of? So Holly mentioned the guidance counselor.
Yeah, and those local initiatives that they would have information on.
Local initiatives. Please use the chat. Let me know, where else will you find scholarship opportunities? Use the chat, and Holly will call out while I write.
I'll be the assistant.
I see Tara said employer.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm coming to your rescue now. And Sue said parent contact. That's good. Yeah, Leanne suggests that through her work, federal government unions. Unions are huge. That's a really good idea. Canadian Hero Fund Union from Cindy.
Cindy, what's the Canadian Hero Fund? Can you speak about it? You're muted, though. Hi, Cindy. Can you explain the Canadian Hero Fund? Oh, you don't have a voice. Okay, or maybe in the chat if you can explain it. We'll put it in the, all right, what's next?
So we have different government departments, like the Department of the Environment.
Okay.
Sue's contribution, Denise is suggesting definitely churches, Knights of Columbus, Catholic Women's League. We've got bursary. Okay, so Denise, bursaries. So what do you mean by that, Denise? Can you unmute?
Yeah, meaning that it would be, say, like $500, $300 sort of thing, an application process, and then so it wouldn't be an actual scholarship, but it would be funds to go towards all your bills for education.
Yeah, yeah.
And they may have specific requirements or guidelines and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Universities and college websites for sure. The other thing I would think about is just, maybe thinking a bit out of the box and looking at your local Chamber of Commerce and getting, getting a listing of some of the companies that exist within your own local area and reaching out to them as well. Just going back to my old volunteer fundraising days from competitive hockey and my son, you come up with this whole list of places to kind of solicit. The other thing, too, is your political affiliations, and we don't have to get into what that looks like today, but that certainly is, you know, that is certainly, there are political associations that would be offering scholarships as well. Rotary Club is a great idea, Sue, the Lions Club. Alumni groups sometimes will have scholarship opportunities, as well as some professional organizations, like if you belong to a teachers union, or if you belong to, you know, Nova Scotia Social Workers Associations, those places sometimes will have scholarship opportunities too.
So thank you for the Hero Fund. I am going to send in the after session email.
Yeah.
Oh, Girl Guides.
Definitely, yes. Oh my goodness, yes, definitely. Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety. Again, another professional association. Great idea. Yeah. And maybe, you know, reaching out to your local MLA will give you a whole other list of people to connect through. And I mean, they've got their pulse on what's going on in the communities, right? So that's what you put them in office for. You might as well have them working into your advantage.
Okay.
Wow, this is a great think tank. Look at all that.
I'm so excited. Can I just ask you to mute for a second, Holly?
Really? Yeah, sure.
Just for a second. I'm so excited about this list. From scholarship part 1, it wasn't nearly as engaged as you've been tonight. So I really thank you. Cindy, check with the basis as well with RCEME. Holly, what's RCEME? Do you know?
You know what? I know what the first 2 letters are for.
Well,
Canadian. No, I don't. What is RCEME, Cindy?
I can answer that one. It's
okay.
Sue. It's
Okay.
Royal Canadian Electrical Mechanical Engineers. That was my trade, Margaret.
Of course it was. Cool.
Yeah. It's the horse carrying the weight of the world is the logo. Yeah.
So yes, so the military, you know, PPCLI have different scholarships for people depending on which you know, the Naval Benevolent Fund has scholarships. So there's so many different places you can find them. I guess the key is stake your claim and just ask. You know, don't let the myths of, oh, no, nobody's going to give me a scholarship happen, and understand that I had a friend, a true friend, who applied for 15 scholarships and she got nothing. And her 16th, she got a scholarship. And then she ended up graduating Simon Fraser University with $80,000 worth of scholarships. So she got it finally after her 16th try. Don't give up. Hey, wow, you guys did amazing at that. I'm blown away. I've done this workshop maybe for 7 years now, 6 years now. Sue, when did we start it? 6 years ago? And that was the best brainstorm we've ever had. So thank you. That was just awesome.
Margaret, Kate had a really good question here in the chat. She's talking about the closest Legion for her is in California. Should she go to that actual branch, or should she continue to look for something that is in her hometown?
I would say go for that branch. Absolutely go for that branch. You know, the worst they can do is tell you no. The best they can do is say, yeah, you can apply. Absolutely. Always ask the question. It's not going to hurt you to ask the question. And that's the other thing, too, is some people have said, well, I'm posted outcan, so I can't apply for any scholarships. That was one of the myths we broke in session 1. You actually can. Now, some administrators will say, no, you have to be living in Canada. But some administrators will say, yes, of course, you're Canadian. So you just have to ask the question. And also keep on applying during college and university to capture the 2nd and 3rd years.
That's right.
Sue. It's not just for first-year students. They're not. You're absolutely right, Sue. Scholarships go all year round. Thank you so much for that point. Now, Sue Zentek, I have to give kudos to Sue because she is the one who started this scholarship series 6 years ago. She did all the research. She brought it all together, and I've just been working on her information the last 6 years to keep going, just because I've been working in the industry. So Sue, you need to take a bow, because this year we had over 85 people come to scholarships session 1. So thank you so much. Your research is still going on. And Cindy's daughter got $2,500 from the Canadian Hero Fund. It was for children of fallen heroes. She did not lose her father physically, but emotionally and mentally she lost him to PTSD. Wow. So you see, some people may think, I'm not even going to apply for that, but you absolutely did. She did, and she was successful. So exactly that. Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Cindy. Thank you so much for sharing that information. Okay, so let's get moving on. Speaking of myths and facts, we brought this one screen for you. Do you have access? I think most of you are joining not on the cell phone, so I think most of you should have access. Yeah. On the left-hand side, you're going to see an arrow. If you click on the arrow and click somewhere on the board, can you do that? There, I see Denise's. Holly's, great. So there we go. Brianna's is there. So just click on that little gray arrow and click somewhere on the board to claim a spot. What I'm going to ask you to do, and if you can't find your arrow, no problem, just put it in the chat. Read this slide, and these are all the different facts, that myths that we broke. Which one is most important to you? And Kate, no problem, just if you want to put it in the chat, which myth is most surprising to you that was broken? So move your pointer to whatever myth is the most important to you. And Kate, if you can put it in the chat, which one? Which one do you find is most interesting?
Scholarships can be from anywhere, yeah.
Yeah, give you 10 more seconds to find your space. Denise, do you have your place there? You're kind of off the board. Can you come in? Come on in. Oh, you're going further off the board. There you go. Okie dokie. Which fact for you? Okay, so Denise, you said you don't need to be in financial need. That surprised you. Only 36% of scholarships of the 99,000 on Scholarships Canada are financial based. So there are so many more that are not financial based. And we even had somebody who asked the question, you have to be a community member. And that's not true either, because there are even scholarships on Scholarships Canada where you can just write an essay. You don't have to give grades. You don't have to be a community person. One essay would be like, if you were to design a car seat, what would you do? How would you design it? That was an actual scholarship that somebody applied for. Yep. And they didn't need anything, no financial, no, they didn't have to save a small country. That was it. So yeah. So let's see, what other myths can we break? You have to have straight A's. No, that's a myth as well. They're looking for well-rounded people. Look at the scholarship we saw from Kathy Priestman, right? Well-rounded people. A lot of them are that. Some of them are academic for sure. Scholarship for redheads or tall people. Absolutely. Did you know there's a scholarship for tall people?
What? Never mind tall people. What about us gingers? That's awesome. I didn't know there was a scholarship for redheads.
Sue, is there a scholarship for redheads? I haven't heard of that one.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, time.
Can you unmute and share about that one? Excellent. Okay.
Were you asking me, Margaret?
Yes.
Oh, I just remember when doing the redhead or doing the research. I saw those ones for redheads or tall people. So when we first started doing this, I remember sharing it with the remote youth and telling them that. I said, it's not academic all the time. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah. There was one with a scholarship where can you design a dress using 3M tape, a grad dress?
Oh, cool.
Okay, so let's get back to focusing. Competition. So more than $9 million each year does not get given out because nobody applies. Competition, some of them do have competition, but some of them have nobody applying. So stake your claim, apply. Oh, this one was good. Brianna, and somebody behind you in blue. I can't see who you are. So the deadlines are year-round. So people would think that the myth was that I can only apply for scholarships in October, but that's not true. You mark in your calendar, you get organized, you mark in your calendar, and if you miss a scholarship, apply for it next year, because as Sue said, you can get them for second and third and fourth years, and university, and college, and doctorates, and masters. Keep applying. They're not just one time. Holly liked this one, and Tara. So scholarships are for everyone from 16 to 96, college, university, and graduate levels. I think we'll even accept the 97-year-old too.
Well, yeah, I mean, learning is lifelong, right? It doesn't end when you're 25, or most of us can attest to that.
You have to make time, so 3 hours a month would be, you have 720 hours in a month, so you can spare 3. But one of the most important ones is please never, ever, ever pay for an application fee for the privilege to apply for a scholarship. It will be a scam. Do not pay money. Run. It's a scam. Run far. Run fast. Never, ever pay for an application. There's over 99,000 legitimate ones. Don't pay for it. Yes, on the Scholarships Canada site, Denise, there are some for attending outside Canada. Sue, if you've lost the screen, no problem. Down below, there should be a blue and green ball that you can come back to. And if you click on that blue and green ball on the bottom of your computer, you should be able to come back. Let me know when you're back. All right, so we've broken some myths, and this was from part 1, but you'll get more information if you listen to the part 1. But these are the myths that we broke. So congratulations. And finally, again, can you spare 3 out of 720 hours? There's a theme here, I think, going on, Holly.
That's a good buy-in, I got to tell you. You should be a marketing rep.
Take your time and, stake your claim, apply. So if you get everything ready, then you can apply for numerous scholarships when they come up. So have a binder. Put all your letters, your community service leadership, your financial needs, your academic transcripts. Have it all in one place. Your affiliation, make sure you know that. Any activities, sports, challenges, PTSD, whatever. Have it all in one place. Are you a redhead? Are you a bagpiper? Are you tall? All Society of Canada. There's a plug again. And prepare your winning scholarship essay template. So what happens if the academic transcripts are over 30 years old? Hey, you're a piper, Denise. Well, if they're over 30 years old, you explain that. You send them in and you explain my transcripts are 30 years old, but not everybody needs transcripts. So, ask the administrator, how important are transcripts? And mine are 30 years old, how would you go about doing that? So ask the question. Just ask. Stake your claim and just ask. That's what we're going to learn from today. Stake your claim, just ask, and 3 out of 720.
Can I say a couple of things about this slide too,
yes,
Margaret, if you don't mind? So I love this concept of building a portfolio. I'm a huge advocate of portfolio development anyway, so I'm just wondering, I love processes and I love things to get streamlined. So, a person being able to develop their winning scholarship essay template, you have a recommendation for that? Like, are there some common areas that, consistently are focused in on these applications so that somebody can get some verbiage going and some, a couple of different paragraphs that would add to these scholarships so that they're not recreating it every time?
Yes, come to session 1.
Okay, great.
We talk about essays in detail in session 1.
Okay, yes, good. What is PLAR? I got to answer that. PLAR is Portfolio Prior Learning Assessment Recognition, which is portfolio development. So that is it's RPL, it's Recognized Prior Learning. And you'll see those of you that are kind of embarking on your own journey for education, you'll see a lot of that with adult learners, that the emphasis is on prior learning assessment because, you know, we've been out of school for, you know, for some of us anyway, for a significant amount of time, and we have loads of experiences and competencies that were developed through work. And the RPL model will actually, in some cases, and I'm getting down to another rabbit hole here, so I don't want to steal any more time on that, but in some cases it will allow you to modify your curriculum and your course outcomes with some programs because they will credit you for your prior learning. Like community colleges are huge RPL advocates because they get so many adult learners coming back into the system.
And what do they do with it?
Well, there is a weight that still is held by transcripts for sure, but at some point in time, there's a limited statute of limitations that does exist. Like I know within an undergraduate program, I think it's within 10 years, maybe 12 if you can stretch it, that they'll actually, some universities will actually credit you for that. But, you know, I always say, and I'm not pro one or the other, but I always say the thing with universities are, you know, they are private institutions, so they're going to be able to command what they need and want from their applicants. Community colleges are basing their models a little bit more on Department of Education outcomes, so they're a little bit more flexible with that. But RPL is the way to go. If you've got, you know, competencies that are required for a particular program area and you've had some time since you've been into, you know, a program yourself in terms of education, and you can ask if they have an RPL model that they will assess you. And if you can demonstrate that you have that competency or skill, you know, the whole idea is that you don't necessarily have to repeat the learning. If you're able to demonstrate it to their satisfaction and to the level where it's a proficiency, then they'll credit you for that having that particular area of specialty.
Well, thank you so much.
We should do a session on PLAR.
We should do a session on PLAR.
Yeah.
Okay, can I ask you to mute your mic again, Holly, for a sec?
Sure thing.
Awesome. So here's some tips from the scholarship part 1. Word count counts. If they ask for 500 and you give 505, there's a chance it can go into the no pile. So be mindful. Limit the I am grocery list. And what I mean by that is, so if you were an administrator, which essay opening statement would you give the scholarship to? And Holly, would you mind reading these two for me?
I guess I got on the mute for that one. Okay, so you're asking me to read the I play football and I raise money for the community?
Yes.
Or I know I'm really...
This is all one, and then the red one is second.
Okay, so so I play football and I raise money for the community. I know I am really good at being in charge of my teammates. That's one option.
Or?
Option 2. This was the last game of the season. As I ran onto the field to the roar of applause, I saw the thermostat with the final fundraising total of over $20,000 for a worthy cause. Through leadership, vision, and hard work, we exceeded our original goal. Hands down, go with B.
Go with B. Okay, in the chat, which would you give the scholarship to, A or B? B. Both. Good for you, Leah.
Both. I love that answer. That's great. Yes.
So when I talk about the I am grocery list, this is what we learned. I play football. I know. I raise. You want to, if you can get rid of the I altogether, that would be fantastic. Look at the second one. It was just telling a story. In one sentence, you told a story. You told a story of leadership. You told a story of somebody who never gave up and who finally got some really good stuff for the community. So limit the I grocery list and tell your story, because it makes it interesting. Because if an administrator has to read 400 I did this and I did that and I did this, they're going to be asleep and they're going to accidentally put your paper in the no pile. Okay, stake your claim, apply, ask the question. Do you have a scholarship? Ask friends and your work and all those other great places that we looked at. Make sure you edit your assignment, your essay, and have it edited by 1 or 2 people. Have it ready to go. And make sure if you do have an essay ready to go that and if you personalize it to one organization, that you've changed the personalization so that you're talking to the right organization.
Yes.
Make it personal, make it interesting, and make it memorable. So start with the bang. You know, with the Support Our Troop scholarships, you only have 450 words to answer 3 questions. So edit out anything that's not vital. Reuse your content and check out various scholarship bloggers like My Campus GPS and social media. So those are the tips we got from scholarship session 1. What sounds familiar, Denise? Similar to resumes. Yes, it absolutely does. You're right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So your mission, should you choose to accept it, please set up a profile on scholarshipscanada.com. Find a scholarship that you can apply for and write a first draft of your scholarship essay and have it edited by 2 or 3 people. And submit an application for at least 1 scholarship in the next 3 weeks and then report back, because we want to hear your successes. We want to celebrate with you. Remember to stake your claim and apply. And in your essays, make them creative and honest and readable. Excellent. I remember doing that WebEx also, Margaret, writing resumes. Yes, you did. Absolutely. So you were the founder of this whole interactive online programming. You know, we were a part of a really unique team, you and I. I'm quite excited about that. So before we move on to the one last part that I wanted to work on, and that is future programs, I wanted to know if you have any other questions or comments or thoughts. What about going through CISIP for education? Can we still apply? I don't know about CISIP. Do you know about CISIP, Holly?
Yes, I do actually. They have a education. Oh my goodness, what is it called? I just printed off 1 million copies in my office and put them on my resource board. They have a no, not just that though. They also have a assistance for education loan. There's a name for it. Dear, sorry, I have forgotten. I will get that for you for the after session notes. But there's an application that you go through, and it's basically, yeah, it's education related. So that is another, not necessarily for medical releases. It's actually for currently serving as well. It is administered through CISIP. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. Yes. Let me find it for you, and we will definitely send it out. But it is another option. It's a loan, though. It's not a scholarship. It's a loan. I think there's an interest reduction in that loan as well. It's administered through the pay office of the CAF member. But yeah, I'm sorry, the name is just escaping me.
Put that in an email.
Yeah.
Before we go on, can you mute your microphone, please?
Oops, sorry.
No problem. So before we go on, grab your pointers on the left-hand side and claim a space on the whiteboard and share with us your aha moments. What did you learn today from scholarships? And if you don't have your pointer, no problem. If you can just use it in the chat. What was your aha moments from today? I see Leah and Denise and Cindy. Good, your screen came back. Excellent, Sue. Great, grab a spot on the whiteboard. What are your aha moments? I'm going to give you 30 seconds to use the text tool, which is the capital letter T. And if you click on that, you're able to write your aha moment. I'll give you 30 seconds. Sue, are you joining using the new web browser?
I'm actually on Google Chrome.
Okay, well, I can have a look at, after the session, maybe we can have a look and see, or tomorrow I can meet with you and we can figure out why.
Oh, okay. That's okay, though.
Gives me an opportunity to have coffee with you.
Okay, well, we can do that, Margaret. I wasn't sure who was saying that. That would be fun, since I'm home, working from home.
So didn't know about all the different scholarships. Great. And yeah, you have to click away so we can see what you've written. The many, many organizations. Yeah, that's right, Tara. Availability of scholarships for 2020 female graduates. Yes, Wendy, you're absolutely right. And don't forget to click away so we can see brainstorming with others. It was fun. Excellent. How many scholarships are actually available? Yeah. So there are so many scholarships. You just have to stake your claim and apply. Now, before we go, since I have, first of all, I just want to finish up this section. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Holly, for your wisdom. And thank you, Sue, for starting us off so many years ago on this particular platform with this particular topic. You've really helped us a lot. And so we're going to stop the recording, but I want you to stay on because I need your brain power for other future programming. Thank you for joining us.